actually Phoenixes in this game, kind of going with the theme a bit, but they will come back, of course. And when you see actually now, I think it's worth pointing out that we have the Ogre that has come out here, which is the catapult here in Smite. And so they, obviously are a little bit higher health, and they're harder to take down. Basically a mechanic that was put into MOBAs to make the games end faster way back in the days of Dota. So here, I'm not really liking our positioning. I can't find this Hades.
They
we're
can
really,
come
really
in
pushed
from behind
up.
via the jungle, too. Right?
Yeah, and we're going to be, so let's see. I may try to actually scout out the jungle. I'm going to drop one of my traps, which will give me vision on the mini-map, and hopefully be able to see any ganks coming in. As Artemis is looking like she's going to be playing pretty passive, and there you see actually she spotted our Vamana. That's another thing to note. You see the exclamation points coming up on the minions there, showing that they have targeted me.
Right.
So that's part of the visual language of Smite is one of the things that is, I think one of the, as, we are in early beta here, that as we progress is making that very, very obvious to the user when something has changed, because it's not a familiar perspective on MOBA games. So you may have, a little bit more trouble identifying oh, I've been stunned, oh, I'm dizzy. So that's the visual language is something that we're very, very interested in maintaining.
Gotcha. Even though some people may say, well, this is a, different perspective, it's amazing how familiar it just feels, when you jump right into it. If you played any sort of third-person perspective type game, you're going to instantly sort of understand the movement, how would you would see behind you, you're retreating, et cetera, So.
Yeah, so here I would not be surprised if we're going to be ganked out of the woods, judging by Artemis's positioning, looking to start pushing up really hard. Let's take a look. Doesn't look like we are in any great peril at the moment. So I'm going to continue trying to get some farm in this lane, and hopefully, let's see, I'm going to drop my ult and see if I can stun her here. We may actually be able to get a kill. Oh, no, unfortunately that Ra not able to put out enough burst damage there. This pillar that I'm in here actually heals me and will hurt the enemy character, and he continues to play very aggressive. There is his ult. Unfortunately, didn't miss there, and now I'm going to have to bug out as I am in a bad position.
But you can also see just how important being able to land those skill shots are, just how it isn't, the laser beam that Ra was shooting, that it has to be guided, it has to be focused down,
Oh, this is bad news. I got to bug out. Yeah, that's right. There, he missed his ult, and now it's on a massive cooldown, and I'm going to be dragged in here and ganked very, very thoroughly by most of their team there. But here comes my Vamana from the other side that may be able to put out some damage. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. So there you see, they were coming in. I was trying to kite him around my trap, and here Vamana's actually going to be bugging out there with his charge ability. So yeah, a tanky character, and the enemy Ra coming in as well. So here, let's see. I've got about 1,400 gold. I'm going to finish off the boots. And I'm going to need to potentially get another ability here, as I'm not really getting enough farm, I think, to buy another item at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up the sprint to give me a little bit more survivability. Now I can, buff my run speed significantly for a few seconds to get out of those hairy situations I was just in.
Gotcha.
And there we can see, look, there's the Phoenix. So this is what will ultimately be judging will be the arbiter of the success of that lane. And here is the end boss, of course, in the Minotaur. And hopefully we will be, my team will be destroying the enemy's Minotaur here shortly.
You did take out the left and the mid tower at the front, so it looks like even though you haven't done so amazing,
me personally,
Bart,
not very good.
Your team is carrying the hell out of you.
That's right.
So.
And that's what I really love about Smite is being carried, to be honest with you. It's I do my best. And here we got a Vamana coming in, so I'm going to pop my ult and try to CC this Artemis here. We may be getting a kill. Yes, indeed. I'm going to go ahead and pop my attack speed, buff my board coming back in. Let's see if I can put the damage on the Hades. Now it looks like he is going to be successful in CCing me a bit. And Vamana actually tower diving, it looks like there. Very, very deep in that lane, trying to get a kill. I've actually hit the trap of the enemy Artemis now. Oh, not in a great position, and it looks like we're actually going to have to maybe go for a push here, considering that we're all here. So let's get in here, gentlemen. All right, take out this creep wave. I'm going to go ahead and pop another health pot just for good measure. Drop a trap in case we got to retreat. And this next creep wave is the one that we're going to try to push with. So I'm going to pop my attack speed buff as well. There we see I'm now holding it gangster style to the side. And oh no, I've been pulled in by the Hades. And yes, we're going to get that kill. And now I got to run because the tower has targeted me. And no, I'm going to pop my sprint and get out of there because that Ra is going to put a hurting on me if I stay around.
And that made a huge difference right there. One of the problems you were having was just basically getting out of. So I like that. It's not necessarily committing to X spell or Y spell. Instead, you get to purchase based off of the situations that you're dealing with from game to game.
So I'm going to maybe try to take this out again just for extra gold here. I'm not really needing the buff. I am going to go back actually after I get this. So just going to try to get a little bit of extra gold, a little bit extra farm.
Oh, that'll be
heading
good.
out.
So a lot of people are probably asking the question, how does teleporting work? Is there a free teleport? Do you need to buy a scroll that gets you back home?
Sure.
Tell us about that.
So it does have, there is not town portal scrolls. It is the B key. You'll begin to channel the summon yourself home. Here's I believe it is a 5-second cast, and there now I am back with a pretty animation for Miss Artemis here. So now I'm going to try to start building into this Frostbound Hammer, give me a little bit more damage and a on-hit slow. I think maybe that we need to start grouping up, potentially. We did pretty well in that team fight. Looks like my Vamana is actually going to get ganked mid. Unfortunately, my sprint is on cooldown. I would have liked to pop it there and get into a little bit better position, I think, to help him out. But it looks like they are not going to be pushing too aggressively. Here, Vamana is going to back, leaving me all alone. But I am going to attempt to save my tower here against this 4-man push. And it looks like they're going to the right lane. So I'm going to tell my right lane to retreat there. And it looks like he's seen that as well. So I'm going to be looking out very carefully here. And here you can see kind of the danger is that I am not going to be able to see anyone through these sidelines unless I actually look. Oh, I don't want to get initiated on by this Hades. Yes, and there you actually moved out just in time. That would have been rough for me. I don't need to have any more deaths here on stream, but my Hades is coming in, looking to play aggressive potentially here. But for now, I am just a little bit too weak and still need to get my farm up a bit to have a little bit more of these powerful items. I am going to go ahead and level up my boar again. Just take a look at my build. I'm going 1 in the trap. I have 2 in attack speed, 4 in my nuke, and then my ult is, of course, being leveled up as I move along. Another thing about Smite that is a bit different than other games is you get your ultimate at level 5. So the progression is a bit faster. Oh, and here looks like we have the enemy Artemis out of the lane here. I could have probably popped my ult, and we would have gotten a kill there. Unfortunately, I was not on top of that. So, I need to run away from this Hades. Yes, there he comes in, and yeah, he's going to drop that on me. I'm going to go ahead and just blow all of my spells and see if I can put on enough damage to do something useful. Oh, I've been stunned, and there I go down, unfortunately, there. So it looks like they are targeting me, definitely. It may have something to do with the fact that my name is High Res, or it could be because I am the really the hard carry for my team, and they're trying to keep me suppressed. Hard to tell. But
it looks like your death might come with actually a tower kill. We'll find out here in just a second.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to come away with a tower kill in the left lane. And that would be a secondary tower, so I'll take that trade, and it looks like we're going to be able to defend our middle as well. So at the end of the day, I die again, but my team comes out victorious, and I can't complain too much. There, I've picked up the second piece now to my Frostbound Hammer. You see I have the Warrior Tabi as well as the Frostbound Hammer here, so we're going to keep on with the keeping on and see if we can get another a W here out of this relatively poor start for myself. And here's another thing about Smite that is a bit different is that the tab menu shows all of the items for all the characters, their total gold farm, and also these bars which show you, kind of a
the
general
sense.
They're
going.
That's right. So the idea was that, because you can't mouse over someone or click on a part of the minimap and be like, well, what is this guy building? You can now just take a look all together and say, okay, well, it looks like, they are going mostly attack power.
Right.
Looking at the enemy team here, they have not really started in their builds. Oh, my goodness, and we're actually up a player. They are down 4 to 5, and we're still not really doing that well. So, or at least I'm getting ganked too much, which is kind of sad for me that I'm losing to a 4v5. But, such is life.
Great. Well, this actually is a good time for me to ask you some hard-hitting questions. Like, for example, can this player rejoin the game if he was perhaps disconnected?
Yes, he should be able to hop back in if he comes in a reasonable time. I'm going to get ganked again here. This is just visible. That Hades ult, very, very strong. Let's see if I can pop my sprint. Maybe I can get out of this. No, the ult from the Ao Kang there. A big high damage ult from that caster there. He is a very, very strong.
Sprint, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Oh, that's too bad.
That's okay. All right, here's another one.
Sure.
So, obviously, with Tribes, you guys have put a lot of effort into, the competitive side of it. You've added a spectator mode recently, the ability to watch other tribe streams within the client, which is fantastic. What kind of plans can we expect for Smite? The same kind of a treatment? Is it something that you guys are still talking about? Can you not talk about it yet?
We've definitely talked about competitive in Smite, absolutely. We have started taking a look at the spectator client. We actually have something that is, to be honest with you, where Smite is right now, we are further along spectator-wise than we were with Tribes in terms of...
And you guys probably learned a lot.
Absolutely. Learned tons from Tribes and the implementation of the Tribes spectator client. And one of the things that we're trying to do here with Smite is, really make it a great experience, a viewing experience. And so, for instance, in the beta client, you can see there already is that Watch Now tab that we have in Tribes. So I'm very optimistic as to the esports future of this as a title that is definitely workable for competitive play. Here I'm gonna try to get a gank, gonna pop my ult and my nuke. Yes, there it is.
There you go.
Oh
you
man, I'm so good at this game. It's really unfair.
You redeemed yourself.
And they're getting a big kill with my ult as we are gonna try now. We should be trying to push in to the enemy team here. I think we do have a nice creep wave coming up. They're gonna have to go through this pillar of light of Raz there, unfortunately. But here I'm gonna use my Hand of the Gods that I picked up earlier to do some damage to those minions. You see the 600s popping out, meaning that I have really cleared that creep wave out. I'm gonna go ahead and use my attack speed buff as well and try to put this damage out onto the tower. Looks like my Raz is gonna tank it a little bit, and now I'm gonna take a hit and fall back a bit. And actually, I'm gonna go ahead and back because I believe I can finish the rest of my Frostbound Hammer. And I'm gonna get up just before the Artemis hits me. Whew, that was narrow escape. And now I'm in a good position here. I've got decently strong attack power, as well as the Frostbound Hammer, which will allow me to slow on hit. So I'm liking my positioning so far.
All right. Well, I mean, so far everything looking really nice about the game. I'm trying to think of some other questions. I'm a player. I'm watching it. Maybe I'm very familiar with MOBA games. I really want people to see the boss at the end because, again, it just adds a dynamic that you're not going to find in other games. And
sure.
And also something that still takes that effort. Oh, I didn't even know that was.
Yeah. So here is kind of the. Oh nope, they've conceded. So there we are. So there you see the main boss going down there. That is the Minotaur. So we'll queue back up for another game real quick and keep it moving. But so right there at the end, what we were looking at was the Fire Giant, which is kind of the main buff guy, the main boss of the level. So in Dota you have Roshan, and Han you have Kongor, and what is he's Baron in League of Legends, I believe. And so a similar kind of thing, in which you can kill him and get a huge buff for your team. And that's really the only buff in the game that's kind of just like it gives you a lot of things. It gives you attack speed, some attack power, some defense, kind of the everything. A little dabble do ya kind of
Are there
buff.
I mean, we've seen the health regen. Are there also like mana regens? And, like, what are all the different buff camps that can exist?
Yes, so you have run speed, you have cooldown reduction, you have HP regen, you have mana regen, and you have attack damage. So there's 5 different styles of buff camps, and you can stack all of them together. It would be kind of tough to get around the map and get them all maybe, but in theory, you could absolutely have a very, very strong and augmented character by those buffs. So maybe in this next match, actually, I'm going to leave the queue. I'm going to go ahead and pick up Arachne here, which is the spider goddess. Okay. And with her, I am going to attempt to jungle here, I believe.
All right.
So I'm going to hop back into the queue. So the jungling side of the game. A little
different, yeah.
Yeah, so the reason that she's a strong jungler that we'll see here in a little bit is that she has, her first ability is she can lay eggs. And the eggs actually are really, really strong at jungling. So I can actually lay down these eggs before the minions even spawn and get a free camp, and then be killing a second one after I get the first one, making her really the standout jungler so far in the game. I've seen some interesting stuff going on with Odin, who's the guy that we're seeing here facing off head-to-head with Kali. But ultimately, I think Arachne is going to be a good choice.
Well, and again, that just goes to show, people will find the different ways to take the gods and like tailor the gods perfectly with the right items and or the right skill loadouts, to create a jungler essentially.
Yes.
Frankly, not having to follow the rules. I think that's,
Well, that's kind of what the abilities that you can purchase, really play to that point is that, you have your 4 skills, sure. But you can also add 3 more that are things like slow the enemy team, speed up my team, give me back all my mana, cut off a CC early. You have a lot of options into how you want to build your character. You could really take anyone and build them into a tank, and I think it would translate a little bit better in Smite than it would maybe in another MOBA where our caster's never going to get as tanky because of stat gain.
Sure.
And it's just different the way that our characters progress. You actually... In Smite, most games will get you to max level with a full build in about 30 minutes, depending on if it's an even game. And so that's something that's really different is that they tend to end within the first 20 to 35 minutes in general, which is something that we were really focused on was making the MOBA experience not as painful if you're losing.
Right. Understood.
Yeah, I mean, that's one personally, that's one of the biggest kind of complaints that I have of the genre as a whole is sometimes you get into a game, you're like, we're going to lose. And then it's 45 minutes of losing.
So can you talk a little bit about some of the feedback that you've gotten already from some of the beta testers? What do people really like? What are they, hoping that things get improved? Can you give us any insight as far as that's concerned?
Yeah, absolutely. So some of the stuff that we've seen kind of coming out of early feedback has been Well, the character I was playing is overpowered, but clearly not. No, but in general, it's been very, very positive, and the feedback has been mostly constructive. I mean, Sarsis is actually another high res guy, so he's probably going to whoop up on me pretty good. But